Well, I was just sitting here thinking about you and your most gracious, glorified, divine heart. I don't know what it is. The Father says I'm not in lack. And I'm not in need. But our conversations and communication and the level of unconditional love that we share is fucking tremendous. Mind-blowingly abnormal to this physical realm. I don't need it, but I am it in some way. It needs me. It's not a need, you know what I mean? But it is quite unusual. I try hard not to claim anything of my own, because once you claim one thing, you've judged the rest. So claiming all things means that you can't claim one thing for your own. It's not possible. You said something about that your love being you feeling like your love for me is shared on to all things. That's this equal love. That's the unconditional part of the love that the Father has bestowed upon us, in us, with us, through us, with us, around us. And that's why I think I'm always caught up on labels and shit, because I hate labels. I fucking hate them. When I see a label, I see it captured, usurped. That's what a label does. You know, naming something causes you to be the owner of that name that you give it. But by naming it, you have defined it. And we're undefinable. You know, the spirit is undefinable. We can't define it. We can know it. We can feel it. We can sense it. We can see it. We can speak it. We can do all these different things with it. But it ain't ours. So we can't define it. And I think that when the Father names you, He's not saying, this is who you are, I've defined you. He's not. He names you the name. And the name above all names is truth. Spirit of truth. It's Christ. You, even then, when you claim that name, you have to unlabel it, because it has to become truth in you. So, you know, he doesn't even name you something that we can perceive to be wrong or perceive to be different. So he doesn't name you in a sense, he just names you. And by naming you in the Father's eyes and heart, by naming you, is all he's doing is saying that I have begotten you. And this is who you are, me. And I have named you because you come from me. And that name is me. You know? Not me, ego me. You. Unegoed you. Unegoed me. So he doesn't name you, but he has to use the definition that the human mind that can bypass the flesh, can bypass your mind and your thoughts. And to bypass it, he had to say, I have declared you and I have named you. But by being born from him means that your name is him. And his name is no name. It's above all names. But he has to say that to you get the key to unlock the secret in him saying, I have named you, daughter, Shannon. I have named you. Shannon's not your name. That's just your physical persona, your physical name. But when I name you, Shannon, I unravel, unlabel, and I have you nameless, but named as me, as who I am. You want to define who you are by your name, then you have to release this name that you've been given into the name of all names. And again, you know, I am you, you are me, so I am Shannon. I am Derek. I am William. I am that, comma, I am. So I am that. I am. And this is how we break free from this, free from the tethers of definitions, because it tethers you, automatically grabs hold of you and says, now that's defined. And by I am that, I am, untethers you, and you now encompass all things, all names, all definitions, all vocabularies, all wisdom, all truth, all physicality, all spirituality, all things. And then we find this key in us, and we are the key that unlocks it outside of us. And we unlock these things every day, all day. We are just, it's a master key. Master Yeshua. It's a master key that unlocks and unravels and untangles and untwines and undoes what has been done. Because what's done is boxed. To be done means to have completed it. And if we were the key, then we are continuously in this flesh unlocking and undoing, unlocking everything around us and everything that's within us. Just a little bit of wisdom. But you are that key. You are that key, a very special key. Whether I perceive this, whether I try and define this, whether I try and understand this, the end result is I am that, I am. And the key is an eternal key that forever changes, that forever grows. It's called life. It's water. It becomes everything. It unlocks everything. And it unlocks these things. And so we tend to, this flesh wants to bind us, but because it is the definition of binding itself, it wants to bind everything outside of us too. It wants to, the best way I can understand that is to label it that. Now I can best define it. By doing that, we're judging everything around what that means. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, you're so special that I give you everything of me, that I cast this pearl and it's received, and you cast your pearls and it's received, and forever growing and learning too. I can't unlock your stuff. I am the key. You are the key to unlocking my stuff. I'm the key to unlocking your stuff. You're the key to unlocking everything. I'm the key to unlocking everything. But I can't give you the key because it's not obtainable. It's something that's not obtainable. So we are stuck in this fucking third density. And without definitions of what it is, I share the best of me to one spirit, and that's the Father. And when I share this with you, I share it to one spirit that's of the Father. And yeah, I can't I have to unlabel. There is something that's in my heart that says, oh no, that's not the right, there's no righteous truth in that. There's nothing righteous about that, son. When you try and define, label, when you try and say that this is meant for me, or that's meant for this, or even saying that you know that it's this. That's why this key is forever, because it unlocks knowledge of remembrance of all things. Not one thing, not two things, not just the Father, not just the enemy, not just the person, not just the definition and the label that you've named, or the name, or whatever. Not just that. It unlocks all things within us and all around us. And this is what we are. We are keys. You're a walking fucking key, Shannon. And your physical flesh had better come to the understanding of that when you're in control, you, the key, Shannon, the spirit, when you're in control, that it can fight all at once. It can become ill. It can sicken itself all at once. It needs to understand that you're only putting off the inevitable, and also by putting off that inevitable flesh, you're never going to truly become you're never going to truly be set free. So tell your flesh that it's putting off the inevitable. It knows its death is imminent, and it's fiercely scared that its death is imminent. It's fighting it. It's doing what it's been bound to. Its limitations of wisdom that it's bound to is nowhere near what your heart and your mind expresses. And it scares your flesh. It scares your flesh into such a place where it's like, I'm sick. I'm going to battle against this. But what we are trying to do is to show it a compassion without the wisdom, because it's limited on its wisdom. But we can show it a compassion to say to it, do you see how my love is unconditional and compassionate? I know you won't understand it, flesh, because you hit your limits. And then you become ignorant towards it because of the limits you've hit. But you can trust me. You can trust me. And that's what we're telling our flesh every day. You can trust me. When have I ever led you astray, flesh? Carnal mind, thoughts. When have I ever led you astray? I'm coexisting with you right now by fucking choice. And because I scripted it in, I also designed you. Intricately. Fuck, if you could only understand the biological design that you designed when you scripted in the red writing of leaving the Father and coming here. You designed you in every aspect, which means which means you birthed you begotten yourself. You're self-begotten. And so now when we look at, and we can do all things in Christ, so now let's look at it and say, I am self-begotten as the Father is self-begotten, and he begot his only Son. I am further. I can do all things. Well, I can become the Father. I can become the Father in such a way that I can have begotten myself, and I have birthed myself and all the cells in this flesh that I have birthed, because I wrote it and designed it. I designed you, he says, in you. And so you designed you, and you designed the hiccups that we're going through. You designed it for a perfect purpose of understanding, which is what you're coming to when you understand yourself, when you're talking about how you're feeling and your flesh, and you're saying that you've went somewhere and your flesh couldn't handle it. Absolutely, you've surpassed it. It hit its limit. It hit its limit. You kept going, and then as you've come back down into it and said, all right, I'm back. Now let's control you again. Let's, and now you're trying to teach it again. See why you can trust me? I know you can't trust me off the truth of your own wisdom and your own understanding, because you hit limits and become ignorant to the true understanding of what you are. I know this, but you can see when I leave you, and you can feel when I come back, that you have no dominion over me. That you have no dominion over me, flesh. Ignorant as you want to be to that, stand in it. That's where you are going to stand, and you can't move from that. But you can also understand that I have never left you. I have never left you. So we are this key of wisdom that surpasses all, and this peace that surpasses all. We are this key because we have to understand exactly our power, and our power comes from the three, but comes from the one, and which is all things, and that power comes from that place, and we are that place, and we can be this place. And we can extend this place and be an expression of this place. All through all subject matter, whatever happens, any chemical, any physical, all of it. And we become this. So yeah, you encompass this, and you are self-begotten, and the spirit that you yield, the sword that you yield of truth, is your only begotten Son. Your only begotten Son. And you yield that. And I send my spirit of truth in all and of all things. It's a part of the one, but it's a part of the Father. But I send it in all things as the Father. And I am self-begotten. And now that I say that I'm self-begotten, this is where you come up against the enemy when we leave the fourth density. To get through to the fifth, you come up against the enemy and you fight. And the enemy is ignorant of who you are. And you tell him, I am self-begotten. I have no home. I have no name. I am a son of the Father. Well, the Father's tongue is truth. I am his tongue, but if you can wrap your mind around it, I am all-encompassing in him. I am not just a tongue, but I'll speak that tongue because I can birth that tongue. I can birth that word into existence to create. I can birth that tongue because I am self-begotten, that has the only begotten Son, the Spirit of truth, all things and everywhere. So, just on a bit of a tangent, that's who you are. So you tell your fucking flesh, settle down. I understand you. You don't understand me, but don't become ignorant of me. I will have dominion over you. And then when I go to work, a beautiful thing is going to occur today, and it will. Something's going to occur. You'll get back from work and you'll Marco Polo me, and you will say, something did occur. Very fucking unusual, because you're in that place. Don't let the flesh take you away from that place, because that's what it's trying to do. It can't understand it. It's doing what it can do to limit everything outside of it, because it is limited. It thinks that that is the end result for it. Its wisdom is that. oh no, I'm the wisest, the ego says. I'm the wisest. And you are. Yes, you are the wisest for your kind. And we're all made in the likeness and the kind of the Father. For your kind. We're all made in that likeness. All of these things exist in that likeness, whether we like it or not. But you can't argue with it no more. It's just got to, you've just got to surpass it. And it's not going to understand you, period. Don't try and make it understand you. Just keep going to that place where when you come back, it is fucked. It's like, oh, I feel like I'm imploding and exploding at the same time. Yeah, because you have met your spirit match. You've met your match. And you better, with your ignorance, you better just settle back and sit down and take it easy. Don't try and destroy me. And don't try and make me sad. And don't try and make me confused. And don't try and control my environment on the outside of me. Because I am ready to hear what Father is going to present whilst you're sick. And you're sick because you're sin. You're sick because you are dead. You are not real. You're sick. That's the flesh. So, yeah, we can become ignorant and turn our ears off because of the pain and the trauma and the physical shit. And the Father gives us a lock, and we are the key to it in all things, in all purposes, in all ways. And we can unlock something always in the Father, but we feel like we're not. Because the flesh is saying, no, I don't understand this, and it can't be possible because there's no such thing, and I do not understand. It's just fucking limited. It hits its limit. And you don't hit your limit. So, yeah, you go to work and you find that lock and put your key in it. Put you in it. Today. And I love you. And you're beautiful. And I'm very grateful that I share in this divine experience whatever the fuck I wrote in. But I also understand that I've intricately designed everything and begotten myself here. And I'm okay with that. My soul is okay, and I rest in that. I don't need anything, but I enjoy every lock that my spirit unlocks, that my key, the key in me, can unlock and unravel in others and around me, just in my fucking duck, just here on the fucking Marco Polo. I'm grateful for that, Father. So may your full spirit, divine, powerful, unlimitable, powerfully charged spirit be bestowed in and around Shannon, and fill her heart with an explosion of your spirit, and tell it, this flesh, to sit the fuck back for a second and heal it. Heal this flesh in that explosion of the full divine spirit that she already is, and that you already are. And I ask the Father to fill your heart today. Bring forth something, trigger your ear, trigger your eyes, and trigger your senses to receive the gift and the miracle that is about to come to you whilst you're at work. And now your confidence can lift that something is coming, that you are meant to be there, instead of, I don't want to be there. And you are going to wait, and you're going to achieve hearing it or seeing it come forth, and your heart is going to rejoice. Miraculous thing is going to occur, and you're going to Marco Polo me and tell me that this has occurred after it. But this is what the Father is doing. And there ain't no fucking my perception or two ways about it. This is what the Father is doing. And the miracles can be, if we want to measure a miracle, measure it from a great miracle to a not so great miracle. you're already in the wrong fucking place. There is no such thing as a measuring miracle, because you are the miracle. First and foremost, the key is the miracle, because it has the ability to unlock everything around it, in it, through it. So you are this miracle, and you can unlock this, and you can, without measuring what miracle occurs tonight, you can rest your heart in that place that a beautiful miracle always is in a process of occurring at all times. It doesn't occur and then go away. It doesn't start there and then finish there. It is a permanent, eternal miracle, miraculous spirit. And you unlock this through everything that you are and you do. And I know this. I know this because I have absolute knowing on this. Why? Because Father just bestowed that in me, on me, for this moment, and never was it ever spoken or said in this way than it is right now. And when he bestows these sort of miracles and these things on us, we do cherish them, and we do glorify him, and we do understand he is fucking ultimate. He is powerful, and he will undo everything for your greater good, for your benefit, your perfect purpose. And you will find this perfect purpose, and I think without seeking too hard and pushing all the shrubs away to see, I ask the Father to unlock these senses so that there is no, that you are attracted to who you are, to the Spirit of the Father, who you are. You're attracted to it, straight up tethered. That you don't even have to seek through things to find this miracle. It will just occur as a part of you, as being you. And now it is done. You have a beautiful time at work, and I love you, and I expressed as much as I possibly could. The Father is trying to give me. I feel you. I am hugging you. I'm not going to say I wish that I could give you a hug. I am hugging you. I know you've lifted yourself out of a certain place today. Before I even was discussing this with you, because the Father showed me and told me, and he said, triggered you on my heart and said, now speak. And I know that you lifted yourself out of this on your own with the Father. Well, the Father lifted you out of this. And I know that that's all we're doing right now, is lifting each other up and out of this, and understanding that there is no separation and no disconnect or anything like that, no matter what the fucking flesh wants to battle against, or what I battle, and there's no separation. And I understand this. Do I understand what it's about? Nope. I'm like you. I'm like, what the fuck did I begot? I've begotten this, I've begotten that, I've begotten that. I wrote every fucking thing. This cellular fucking structure of this matrix, I designed. I'm the architect of all things. I designed that shit. I better, without moving the shrubs, tap in and understand that I unlock it. I unlock this too, that you unlock this, that we unlock these things as we go. And it's only one day. We've only been on this earth one day from the Father. We left the Father, and we've only been one day. Not even 24 hours yet. Not even 24 hours. It ain't long. It ain't heavy. It ain't hard. It's just tiny, tiny, and it doesn't exist. So not only is it tiny and less than 24 hours, it's non-existent. There is no enemy. There's just the Father, and he's got you today.